He was like a ghost pulling strings from the shadows. Yet his entire criminal empire was hiding in plain sight, plastered across Instagram for the world to see. We're talking about high-powered machine guns, piles of cash, luxury vehicles, and captions soaked in arrogance and bravado. This wasn't your average street-level dealer. This was Vincent Fatz Caruso, a self-identified Crip with big ambition. And the twist? His most loyal lieutenant, the woman at the core of his drug empire, was his own mother. Together, they built a fentanyl pipeline that bled poison into communities across Massachusetts, while funding a reign of fear and violence. They figured they were untouchable, shielded by social media swagger and the chaos they created. But what they didn't know? A task force was quietly closing in, building a case so strong it would bring their empire crumbling to the ground. In the coastal city of Lynn, Massachusetts, a new brand of criminal operation had taken hold, one with a synthetic heart and a digital mask. Vincent Caruso, known to the streets and the internet as Fatz, wasn't just another player in the drug game. By his mid-20s, he had transformed into a one-man distribution hub, pumping counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl into every corner of the North Shore. He didn't work alone. His mother, Lori Caruso, wasn't just aware of her son's activities, she was a key architect in the operation. She managed distribution, controlled inventory, and made sure the money kept flowing. Together, this mother-son team launched what authorities would later describe as a family-run fentanyl empire. The pills were deadly by design. Produced using industrial-grade pill presses, Caruso's team manufactured tens of thousands of fake Percocets that were nearly indistinguishable from real pharmaceuticals. These small blue tablets carried a high price and an even higher risk. Sold for $10 to $20 each, they disguised a lethal dose of fentanyl, a substance up to 100 times stronger than morphine. The numbers were staggering. Investigators would later estimate that the Caruso DTO produced up to 500,000 pills per year, enough to flood entire neighborhoods, destroy lives, and generate millions in illicit profit. On the surface, Vincent Caruso acted like a kingpin, but beneath it all, he was running a mass poisoning campaign disguised as a business. What made Caruso so dangerous wasn't just the product, it was how he weaponized social media. His Instagram was a digital shrine to lawlessness. He posted videos flaunting stacks of $100 bills, posed with gold chains and watches, and showcased firearms, including fully automatic weapons. His captions were cocky and confrontational. For Caruso, the internet wasn't just a place to flex. It was a way to recruit, to intimidate, and to build a reputation that stretched far beyond Lynn. He was crafting a persona, larger than life, meant to strike fear in rivals and embolden his crew. Meanwhile, his mother managed the supply line behind the scenes, using her clean record and maternal bond to evade suspicion. This wasn't a hobby. It was a business, a deadly one. But as the pills spread, so did the violence. The Caruso DTO didn't just contribute to Massachusetts' fentanyl epidemic. It escalated the bloodshed tied to it. The pills became currency for local street gangs, many of whom turned to the Carusos as their primary source. This brought turf wars, retaliatory shootings, robberies, and a surge in addiction. Caruso wasn't just the supplier. He was also orchestrating chaos. Even while out on pre-trial release for unrelated charges, he continued to direct robberies and allegedly fired a fully automatic weapon during a drive-by shooting that left 3 people injured. For Caruso, the streets were a chessboard, and he was playing with live ammunition. Law enforcement couldn't ignore what was happening. By 2020, a pattern had emerged, one that tied overdose spikes, counterfeit pill distribution, and rising gang violence back to the same crew. In response, a joint task force launched a covert investigation under the code name Operation Street Sweepah. The scope was massive. The FBI's North Shore Gang Task Force, the DEA, the ATF, the Massachusetts State Police, and local police departments from Lynn, Peabody, Salem, and others all joined forces. Their target? Dismantle the Caruso DTO from the top down. This wouldn't be a quick hit. It would require months of surveillance, controlled buys, confidential informants, and careful documentation. The team got to work. Investigators tracked movements, recorded meetings, and made undercover purchases of fentanyl-laced pills. They followed the money, mapped out Caruso's network, and uncovered the full scope of his online activities. Ironically, the same social media presence Caruso believed made him untouchable became a goldmine of evidence. Videos of him holding illegal firearms, photos showing his lavish lifestyle bought with blood money. He wasn't hiding, he was advertising, and the agents took note. By mid-2021, the task force was ready to strike. They had warrants, surveillance, and hard evidence tying Vincent Caruso and his inner circle to an expansive drug and weapons ring. The takedown had to be quick, coordinated, and overwhelming. Before dawn, SWAT teams and federal agents descended on multiple properties linked to Caruso and his co-conspirators. It was over in hours. The once defiant drug lord, who posted like a superstar, found himself in handcuffs. His mother, who had quietly moved the poison while her son played the part of street celebrity, was arrested too. Their homes were ransacked, their empire shattered. The evidence collected was damning. Over 1.5 kilograms of counterfeit fentanyl pills were seized, enough to kill thousands. Authorities also discovered industrial-grade pill presses, baggies of binding agents, and molds that imitated real pharmaceuticals. More than a dozen firearms were recovered, including machine guns, exactly like those shown on Caruso's Instagram. Investigators also found over $177,000 in bundled cash, high-end vehicles and ATVs, hallmarks of an empire built on exploitation. This wasn't just a drug bust. It was a full-scale dismantling of an enterprise fueled by greed, violence, and digital arrogance. Vincent "Fatz" Caruso was hit with a laundry list of federal charges: conspiracy to manufacture and distribute fentanyl, possession of firearms in furtherance of drug trafficking, and participating in violent acts while on pre-trial release. His mother, Lori Caruso, faced similar conspiracy charges. Associates like Ernest "Yo Pesci" Johnson and Nicole Benton were also indicted. The evidence was overwhelming. In June 2022, Caruso pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 250 months in federal prison, just shy of 21 years. His mother received 9 years behind bars. Both would be subject to years of supervised release after their sentences ended. The courts made one thing clear: being family didn't excuse the harm they caused. The prosecution was swift and resolute. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joshua S. Levy didn't mince words. This family business has been shut down for good. He described Caruso as a violent and prolific trafficker who flooded communities with lethal drugs and fueled gang warfare for personal gain. His mother's involvement only underscored the dysfunction and moral decay at the heart of the operation. The sentence wasn't just punitive, it was symbolic. It sent a message to others who believed they could live loud online while destroying lives in silence. The fall of the Caruso DTO wasn't just a headline. It was a case study in how digital fingerprints, combined with relentless investigation, can topple even the boldest criminals. Their empire, built on fentanyl and Instagram clout, was a ticking time bomb. In the end, the same platforms they used to flaunt their dominance became tools in their destruction. The tragedy, of course, is what was left in their wake: lives lost to addiction, families shattered by overdose, and communities scarred by violence. But justice, however delayed, was served. So what do you think? Could this kind of digital arrogance become even more common in organized crime? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into America's criminal underworld, busts, betrayals, and justice served, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications.